Good morning and welcome to Ask the Expert. I'm Joe Taylor. This morning, another in the ongoing series of programs presented by the Northwest Regional Key Program for Quality Early Learning. The program, through the Northwest Institute of Research, oversees a grant from the Office of Child Development and Early Learning at the Pennsylvania Department of Human Services and the Department of Education. The goal of the program is to improve the outcomes for young children as they prepare for school. John Poza from the Pennsylvania Key is the host of the program and is with us throughout the series. John, who do we have on the line this morning?
Good morning, Joe. We have Angela Moore, and Angela is the Community Innovation Zone Coordinator for the Cen-Clear Child Services based in Clearfield. And Angela is going to talk to us a little bit about not only their CIZ project, which is called Project Place, but a new initiative that is kind of an offshoot of the great work that they're doing there. So welcome to the program, Angela.
Hi, John. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Now, I know we had you on the program some time ago talking about the Community Innovation Zone and what that's all about. Cen-Clear Child Services was one of 50 grantees in the state to receive this Community Innovation Zone. So before we get into this, the new offshoot program or an additional grant that you received, let's talk a little bit about the actual work you're doing with the Community Innovation Zone, so that for those folks who may not be aware.
So in 2015, a Community Innovation Zone grant was awarded to Cen-Clear in partnership with the Clearfield Area Elementary School, the Shaw Public Library, and the Central Intermediate Unit Number 10. The overarching goal of our CIZ grant is to really create an environment where all children who are living within the Clearfield Area School District have access to a quality education that is characterized by family and community engagement with a strong focus on literacy. So we've attempted to achieve this overarching goal through a couple of different initiatives. As you mentioned, we expanded Cen-Clear's Project Place program, and PLACE stands for Promoting Literacy Through Adult-Child Education. We also host several family literacy nights at various locations throughout the community. We have implemented long-term family engagement programs like Ready Rosie, which for those who aren't familiar, it's an online resource that sends modeled videos to parents and shows them how to interact with their child and create learning experiences at home. And we've also established and we're currently maintaining little free libraries in 2 low-income housing projects in Clearfield. That's just a little bit of what we do with the Community Innovation Zone grant.
That's fantastic. And just kind of the most recent thing that has occurred now, you were part of a team that attended the summer, they're called P3 Governors Institutes, and they've been held every summer. What these are, for those listeners who may not be aware, is that early childhood providers, community agencies, partner with a school to attend a Governor's Institute. And basically, we call it P3 because it's taking all stakeholders from prenatal, from the time a child is born, up through actually grade 3 in elementary school. And they work on prototypes, and they make a concerted effort to basically align curriculum, align projects so that everybody's on the same page regarding expectations for children in this in their early years. So Angela, not to speak for Angela too much, but she was part of the Cen-Clear team with Clearfield Elementary School. She attended a Governor's Institute. And the beauty of it is that those who attended received a $10,000 stipend through the Office of Child Development and Early Learning. It's actually through federal Race to the Top funding. And this $10,000 was to be used to apply to the prototype project that the teams would plan and develop to go forward with after they were attending the 3-day Governor's Institute. So in Cen-Clear's case, I'm going to ask Angela to talk about what you're doing with that $10,000 stipend now to enhance your Community Innovation Zone project.
Yeah, so like you said, we received the prototype stipend, and really our team wanted to kind of provide young and first-time families with an enriched experience of the initiatives that we already had going on with CIZ. So to do this, our team chose to collaborate with Cen-Clear's Young Parent Group and our local Nurse Family Partnership. For those who aren't familiar with Nurse Family Partnership, it's a really great organization, and it pairs young and first-time mothers with nurses. Then the nurses go and visit the moms and educate them on parenting. They share resources with them. They perform health checks until a child is 2 years old. So with our stipend money, our collaborative team, that would be Cen-Clear, the Clearfield Area Elementary School, the Shaw Public Library, Central Intermediate Unit Number 10, and Nurse Family Partnership, we decided that we would host 3 family literacy nights over the next 6 months. We are calling these events Young Family Nights because they will be tailored to the clientele of the Nurse Family Partnership and Cen-Clear's Young Parent Group, who is made up of young parents or parents under age 25 and young children who are mostly under age 5. So the family nights will be held in 2 different locations each time that they occur in order to kind of meet families where they are. So, for instance, an event will take place in Clearfield one week, and the same event will then take place in DuBois the following week. So, families, if they're having a hard time, let's say they live in DuBois and getting to Clearfield sometimes is just, a little bit too much. We're going to have that DuBois event there for them. So we're trying to get as many people with these groups as we can. At each family night, families will partake in a family dinner. Then we're going to do a group read aloud with a leader modeling how to read a book with a young child, how to hold the book, what's appropriate, what kind of questions you should be asking. Because, some of this is not intuitive for these parents, and we're trying to give them the tools that they need to help their child succeed. So after the read aloud, then we will conclude with a parent training portion. And at the 3 events, our 3 training themes will be how to choose quality child care, because sometimes that can be a little bit, hard to negotiate, how to use the online early learning GPS, and GPS stands for Guiding Parents Smoothly. That's a really cool online program that shows, you put in your child's age, and it shows you healthy development and what that should look like, and when maybe you should talk to a doctor, when you should consult, an expert, things like that. And then also our 3rd one would be early literacy and play-based learning. So, what are the milestones that your child should be reaching with literacy, and how to do play-based learning at home, how your child learns through play, and how important that really is. Each family that attends the literacy night will also receive a place kit. And these place kits are kind of going to be specialized. They're going to pack just a little bit more punch than the kits we give out at our regular family literacy nights. So in the kit, families will receive 6 books, a literacy-related activity or item, and many literacy resources for parents. So when I talk about the activities and items that are literacy-based, since the children are of a younger age group, we're going to include an infant-friendly block set, so it's like squishy, so that if it's a baby, babies explore with their mouths a lot, so they can chew on them. A soft activity book where children who are a little bit older can zip zippers and fasten buckles. It's a great way to keep a child stimulated. And then a set of finger puppets that parents can use as they read to their child to just kind of engage a little bit more. So basically, if a family attends all 3 of these young family nights that we'll be having over the next 6 months, they will take home 18 new books and 3 new literacy-related activities and loads of other literacy resources for the parents. We also give out gas cards to offset the cost of transportation. Like I said, we're trying to meet families where they're at. And then they're going to have 3 chances to enter a drawing for a big prize at the conclusion of all of the family nights.
It sounds like a great night. What exactly, Angela, do you mean by the term family literacy?
So by family literacy, I mean that parents are reading with their children, they're writing with their children, they're showing their children that literacy, reading, writing, that it's all important to them.
Right, and the earlier that it's done, the better. Obviously,
yes, absolutely.
Obviously, and also it helps the parents. It's not only for the children, but it helps the parents in all these activities to learn how to be a proper parent. After all, parents are a child's first and foremost teacher and most important teacher. So it's just a great program. And, I've attended these in the past, and I really see how it brings families together, and especially even families in kind of talking to one another. It's a great,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's great not only for the parents, getting to know other parents, getting to talk to other parents who have children of the same age in other literacy activities, but also the children too, and the social skills that children develop.
Are these families where maybe books would not be an important part of their family life?
We are targeting. We are trying to target families who are at risk. So that means that families that maybe don't have a lot of books at home, or maybe don't necessarily see all of the value that reading and writing and literacy have to offer, or don't have time or energy, or just don't know how. Because let's face it, children don't come with a manual. So,
right.
We're kind of showing people like what's appropriate, what your child should be learning. And like John was saying, these family nights and the young family nights, they give people an opportunity to talk with other parents, see where their children are at, maybe what they can expect. They might have one family might have a little one and see a kindergartner running around and say, oh, what can I expect when I get there? Like, how was the process for you registering? And things like that. It gets families together, and they can kind of have a great peer relationship, help each other out. So it really is a cool opportunity for these parents.
Now, Angela, I don't know if you've set the dates yet. You probably haven't, but I figured I better ask anyway. Have you set the initial dates for these young family nights?
Yes. So the one will take place in one will take place in October. So this month, and then the next one will be in January, and then the last one will be in March. And the ones in October here, since we do one in Clearfield and one in DuBois, they're going to be the 19th and the 26th. So the 19th in Clearfield and the 26th in DuBois.
Okay, and then you'll probably schedule the specific dates for January and March as it gets closer.
That's correct, yeah, because we don't, we try, like I said, we really want to meet these families where they are. So if we know of a big school event going on, we don't want to schedule it for the same night as that. We don't want to try to compete with other programs that could be beneficial. Right.
And where will they take place and what time in both Clearfield and DuBois?
They will take place, these ones in October here will take place, the Clearfield one will take place at Cen-Clear in Clearfield, and it will be from 5:30 to 6:30. And the one in DuBois will take place actually in the meeting room at the DuBois Library. So we'll be right there at the library where, families can. Libraries are a great resource. So we love to try to, connect families to the libraries as much as we possibly can.
And the one in DuBois on the 26th, that will also be at 5:30?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm sure you're going to go over this in the program in the evenings. But just for the benefit of the general audience, is there a specific way that a parent is supposed to read to a child?
There's not necessarily one specific way. Kind of just, making sure that showing your children books and reading with them is important. They always say that literacy starts in the laps of parents. So, creating a cozy space where children and parents can feel comfortable. Holding a book and showing them this is the cover, this is the back, these are the pages, this is where the author is. Even doing that with a baby. It might sound silly, but, babies are sponges and they learn everything that you're saying. So just talking with them, reading, and maybe, using your finger to point and follow along with the words. It sort of things like that give parents good exercises to do with children that, maybe they'll then get reinforced in school.
I was going to ask you how old a baby should be before their parent reads to them, but a little personal thing here, and John's aware of this. Yeah. I just had a grandson born, my first grandchild, about 2 months ago. Yeah. And my daughter married a Brit and lives in England. I was just over to visit them for a couple of weeks. And I was going to ask how old a baby should be before their parent reads to them. But I have to tell you, in the case of my daughter, she is already reading, but she's reading like American classics to the kid.
That's great. I mean,
it doesn't really matter what you're reading to. You can read a catalog to them, I guess, right?
Right. I mean, anything and everything. If there's no books in the home, try a newspaper, try a magazine. If all you have is adult books, find some appropriate ones that a child might get something out of and read to them that way. Any way is perfect.
And the other thing, absent of a book or newspaper, magazine being available, it's also important just to talk and tell stories to a child.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because they are listening, they are watching your lips. They can start forming, the formation of words, and even though they may not be seeing that in a book, they will start understanding language, which is very important.
Absolutely, and telling stories is a great way to introduce literacy in the home. That's telling stories verbally is, the first step of telling stories, writing them down. That's an excellent opportunity.
Right. I just wanted to remind our listeners, we have Angela Moore from Cen-Clear Child Services on our program, and she is talking about Cen-Clear's Community Innovation Zone grant program, Project Place, and it's a new initiative to expand Project Place, having young family literacy nights. And that's a partnership with the Nurse Family Partnership. And just to remind our listeners that there is Nurse Family Partnership program in Clearfield County. And basically that's a program that transforms the first 1,000 days of life for babies born to moms living in poverty, starting with pregnancy. And until a child is 2, nurses visit moms at home to educate them on parenting, share resources, and perform health checks. So we did a program on this just in our last program with Tara Deckert, who is a regional manager with the Nurse Family Partnership Program. So I thought this was a good program to do with you, Angela, because of the partnership and the follow-up last week's program. Mm-hmm. So can you tell us a little bit, because you've been doing the literacy nights now over the last couple of years. So can you kind of, if you can think of one kind of real success story or a family maybe in particular, how they've really benefited from it that you maybe kind of want to share? Yeah,
I mean, there have been several families that have, that I've seen just night after night. We hold the family literacy nights every other month, and you start to see the same faces, some new, but a lot of the same faces. And at the end of our literacy night series last school year, a woman actually came up to me and she said, this has helped her family so much. She brings all of her children, and I believe there was like 3 children or 4 children of definitely scattered age ranges, and she said that this is one free thing that they can do together. They can share a meal, which they don't always get to do.
Right.
They can, they do literacy activities together, and she said it's just really impacted their family a lot. And it really touched me because, she could have just left the literacy night and just had a great time, but she thought enough to come up to me and tell me that. So that was one thing that really surprised me.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And just to reiterate, where these are held, they're in a very, very non-threatening environment.
Absolutely.
That everyone feels comfortable and safe.
Yep.
And so you can see that people are really getting along and there's no issues.
We like to hold the events also at various locations. So, sometimes we'll have them at the elementary school. Sometimes we will have them at Cen-Clear because they have some nice areas to hold an event. We've had them at the library so that families can get, at least in the library and see what the library has to offer. We've even held them at other local businesses to try to, bring awareness to the arts and things. Like we had one event last year at CAST in Clearfield, which is our local play theater.
Right.
And the kids got to, many kids don't ever get the chance to go in there if they're not, already themselves into plays or things like that. And they just had a great time.
I have a suggestion. How about Winkler Gallery here in Du Bois?
Yeah, I mean, we're always trying to decide, where to host things. So, yeah, I'm always open to suggestions.
Yeah, absolutely. And, as I said, when I've attended those family nights, it's amazing. Some families, it's not just the parent and their children. You may have an aunt and uncle. You may have grandparents come. It's great to see the interest and the extended family all there. And the beauty of it all, as I said, not only in the location itself, but just to emphasize the folks that are actually participating and working with the kids and the families on the literacy activities. They're teachers at the Clearfield Elementary School, as well as folks that work at the library. So, it's just a great partnership.
We have a great, with our grant, we have a great partnership with the Title I staff at the elementary school.
Right.
They've been a huge help to us. They're almost at every single event, and it's been great. We help each other out. Recently, I did the Tales on the Turf event with them at the Clearfield Senior High School, where all the children from the elementary school were invited to come and read a book with their families and engage with the football players and the cheerleaders. It was so much fun. The kids had a blast, and you could see we did a book exchange, and it was just amazing. So it's really, truly been the Community Innovation Zone grant has brought our community together, together for sure.
Right.
We've created several partnerships that are going to be long-lasting.
And I really appreciate when there is that kind of like that mentorship, like the fact that you brought up the football players, that, I mean, kids love that. They look up to those older kids. They
really do look up to the older kids, and it was so fun to see the football players, sitting down and saying, hey, what book are you reading? And then it was great, like some of the moms and dads handed over the books, and the football players and cheerleaders, they were actually reading to the kids, so it was great to see.
Okay, before we wrap up, we have just a short time, Angela. So if families that are interested in attending the Young Family Nights, either on October 19th in Clearfield or the 26th in Du Bois, do they need to contact anyone, or would they just come? Yes,
they should contact me directly, just because we try to get a handle on the food situation. And they can call me at area code 814-342-5678, extension 2429, or they can shoot me an email if that's all they have time for, at Moore, that's Moore, at Cen-Clear.org.
Okay, that's Angela at 814-342-5678, extension 2429. That's at Cen-Clear Child Services.
Yep.
That's great, and that's all the time we have. I think we really did a great job of really talking about these great programs, and thank you so much, really, for being on, and good luck with the Young Family Nights.
Thank you, John, and thanks, Joe, for having me.
And that's our program for today. We'll be back in 2 weeks at this same time. In the meantime, you can go online to learn more at papromiseforchildren.com. For John Posa and the Northwest Regional Key Program for Quality Early Learning, I'm Joe Taylor. Thank you for listening, and have a great day.